Thank you, Senator Lara. Yeah, it is great to be here. I must confess this is my first opportunity to see my old buddy Endeavour since she was in the VAB at Kennedy Space Center getting ready for her very historic journey out here. So many great memories to see her again. Spent 16 days, 16 and a half days inside of her on my very first mission, STS-67. And that flight marked the culmination of a 25-year journey to fulfill my childhood dream of becoming an astronaut. Back in July of 1969, I was 10 years old, growing up down the road in Solana Beach. And I still remember sitting in front of the black and white television at home with my brother Bill, who's in the audience today. And he might remember this story a little bit better than I do. My version, I remember saying to myself as I watched Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin shuffle along that lunar surface, I remember saying to myself that I wanted to be an astronaut when I grew up because it looked like a really cool job to have. According to my mother, and my brother may verify this, I turned around and looked at the rest of the family and confidently declared that's what I was going to do when I grew up. So I have to confess, I was a 10-year-old girl. That was a seemingly impossible dream, and at times it seemed that way. But I was paying attention in 1978 when NASA selected that first group of shuttle astronauts, which included Sally. I thought, perhaps not so impossible. They're finally women astronauts at NASA. This is good. And then certainly in June 1983, when Sally climbed on board Challenger, and as Senator Lara so aptly put it, broke that stratospheric glass ceiling, I was definitely paying attention. Needless to say, when NASA opened that door for Sally, she confidently walked right through it, got on orbit, did a phenomenal job, and kept that door wide open for those of us who were very, very privileged to follow in her footsteps. She will forever be our trailblazer, and we will forever be in her debt. Our path was made possible because she did such a great job and was willing to take on that mantle to be a trailblazer for those of us who followed. And in the space program, thanks to Sally's efforts, we had 2 women command the space shuttle before that program retired. We've had women command the International Space Station. There will be more in the future who will command that miraculous and incredibly complex spacecraft that's still on orbit. So we thank Sally for that. But I think more importantly, Sally knew that she was a role model because of that historic first, being the first American woman in space. And that was a mantle she also took on with a lot of confidence and grace and determination. It's not easy to be a role model, to be the first one to check a block, but she understood the significance of that. And especially for the young girls in the audience, it's very important for you to look at someone and say, hey, you look at me. And if you were able to do that, why can't I do that as well? And that's why I think this is such a phenomenal effort. And again, we thank you, Senator Lara. And I can also say on behalf of several astronauts, we have excitedly shared this news with them over the last few weeks, and they are saying, well deserved. We want to sign on. We send our support, including Sally's commander on 2 of her missions, Bob Crippen. We are firmly behind this effort. It is important for Sally's legacy as a role model to live on, and I can't think of a better place for her to be than a statue of her in the U.S. Statuary, the National Statuary Hall in the U.S. Capitol building. She has had an impact. She needs to continue to have an impact. So thank you very much for introducing this resolution so she can continue in that capacity. Thank you.